I'm Coach Alden Porter, and this is Profit Architect TV. A business generates $1 million a year. That sounds impressive. But after paying the bills, covering operating expenses, and delivering everything it sells, the business produces only $100,000 in profit. Where did the other $900,000 go? A $1 million business can look successful from the outside while the owner is wondering why there never seems to be enough money left at the end of the month. I'm Coach Alden Porter, founder of Alden Executive Advisors, and this is Profit Architect TV. Here we're interested in one question: how can you make more money from the business you already have? Let's look at a hypothetical company we'll call Main Street Services. The company is established. It has customers. It has employees. It isn't struggling to generate sales. In fact, annual revenue is exactly $1 million. Main Street Services completes about 2,000 customer transactions a year with an average transaction of $500. 2,000 times $500 gives us $1 million in annual revenue. Now let's look below the revenue line. Direct costs, the labor, materials, fulfillment, and other expenses directly connected to delivering the work total $600,000. That leaves $400,000 in gross profit. But the company also has $300,000 in operating overhead: rent, administration, software, insurance, marketing, vehicles, professional services, and the many other expenses required to operate the business. $1 million in sales, minus $600,000 in direct costs, minus $300,000 in overhead, leaves $100,000 in operating profit. In other words, this business has a 10% profit margin. For every dollar the company sells, only 10 cents reaches the profit line. When many owners see this situation, their first response is predictable: we need more sales, and sometimes they do. But adding revenue is not always the fastest, easiest, or most profitable answer. If the economics underneath the business aren't working well, pouring more revenue into the top can simply create more work, more expenses, more employees, more stress, and surprisingly little additional profit. So instead of asking only, how can we sell more, I want to ask a different question. What happens if we make several small improvements to the business we already have? Let's begin with customers. Main Street Services currently completes 2,000 transactions. Suppose better lead generation, referrals, partnerships, or conversion helps the company increase that number by just 3%. 3% doesn't sound dramatic. It takes the company from 2,000 transactions to 2,060 transactions. That's only 60 additional transactions across an entire year. Now let's improve the average transaction by 3%. Not through a price increase yet, but through better bundling, upselling, cross-selling, or helping customers buy more complete solutions. The $500 average transaction becomes $515. With 2,060 transactions at $515 each, revenue increases to approximately $1,060,900. Direct costs also rise because the company is delivering more products and services. In our example, direct costs increase from $600,000 to approximately $636,540. At this point, before changing pricing or overhead, operating profit has already increased from $100,000 to approximately $124,360. Now let's look at pricing. Suppose the company can responsibly improve effective pricing by 3% without materially reducing sales volume. The $515 average transaction becomes approximately $530.45. The business now generates approximately $1,092,727 in revenue. Here's why pricing deserves so much attention. In this illustration, the price increase does not require 3% more labor, 3% more materials, or 3% more rent simply because the price changed. Much of that additional pricing improvement can flow toward gross profit. Now let's look at overhead. Instead of slashing expenses indiscriminately, suppose the owner finds efficiencies equal to just 3% of operating overhead. $300,000 becomes $291,000. Now put the four improvements together: 3% more customers, 3% higher average transaction through better selling, 3% better pricing, and 3% lower overhead. The total result in this hypothetical example is approximately $1,092,727 in revenue and approximately $165,187 in operating profit. Stop and look at those numbers. Revenue increased by only about 9.3%, but profit increased from $100,000 to more than $165,000. That's approximately a 65% increase in profit from a collection of relatively small improvements. Now, that does not mean every company can make these exact changes, maintain the same customer volume, or achieve the same result. Every business has different margins, customers, costs, competitive pressures, and capacity. This is an illustration, not a guarantee. But the principle is extremely important. Small improvements made in the right areas of a business can have a much larger effect on the bottom line than most owners expect. And we only examined 4 areas. There are many more places to look. Could you reduce unnecessary costs without reducing quality? Could you improve your market position? Could you create a stronger offer? Could you adjust pricing? Could you bundle products or services? Could you improve upselling and cross-selling? Could you create a downsell for customers who aren't ready for your primary offer? Could you add complementary products or services? Could strategic alliances introduce you to new customers? Could better follow-up convert leads you're already paying to generate? Could you improve lead generation? Could you improve your digital marketing? These are the kinds of profit levers we examine at Alden Executive Advisors. The mistake is assuming you need one enormous breakthrough. You may not. Sometimes the better strategy is to find several smaller improvements that work together. That's why I encourage business owners to know at least 5 numbers: your revenue, your gross margin, your operating overhead, your average transaction value, and your net or operating profit. Don't just look at your bank balance and ask whether there is money in the account. Look at the machinery underneath the business and ask where each dollar is going. Then ask yourself this question: if I improved 3 or 4 parts of my business by only a few percent, what could that mean to my annual profit? You don't have to guess. Go to alden3.com simulator app and use the Profit Acceleration Simulator. Put in your own numbers and see what several small improvements could potentially mean for your business. Your next breakthrough may not require a completely different business. It may already be hiding inside the business you have. I'm Coach Alden Porter, and this is Profit Architect TV. Let's find the profit.